Hey guys, Vero Sells is my channel, and thank you for coming. And I got a Vero yesterday. Like, I literally got a Vero. I do believe in the law of attraction, and I almost think the fact that I was making a video about Veros yesterday, I don't know. This is really frustrating. Let me get into what it was. It was for a card game. It was for, and this is what I had the listing at: 5 crowns, the 5 suited rummy style card game, new, sealed. And this item actually sold like 10 days ago. So you can get Veros after the fact. Now, I have some thoughts, and I spoke to eBay. So this is the second Vero that I've gotten in a month. And the first one was for using the word bomber to describe a winter hat. Another thing, use aviator. You're allowed to use aviator hat, so at least that will somewhat describe the style. I don't really know how that could have been avoided. I didn't know that you weren't allowed to use the word bomber. And I don't know how this one could have been avoided, to be honest. I didn't know that the email that I got says that Set Enterprises is the name of the company. They said that it was a counterfeit item. How would I know? It was brand new, it was sealed. I bought it at the thrift store. It may not have been counterfeit. They may just send out blanket emails like that to get people to have their listings taken down. I don't know why anybody would counterfeit a $20 game. That doesn't even make sense. There's no profit margin there with the amount of... No, I actually don't believe that it was a counterfeit item, but I have no way of proving that. And that's the problem, is like you call into eBay, and so I called in twice. The first one, I don't know, sometimes you just feel like you're not getting anywhere with these people. I mean, I feel like I didn't get anywhere, to be honest, to begin with. But the second one was a little bit more responsive, but at the end of the day, they just regurgitate legalese, tell you to refer to the Vero program on eBay, refer to the list, which they admit is incomplete, and then reach out to the company that sent you the Vero. But I don't know what reaching out would do, because I actually sent them an email last night. I just wanted to talk to somebody to see, and then they basically have an auto response where they're like, fill out this form, show the proof that you can resell this item. And obviously I can't. That's not the issue. The problem with the Vero program is that the punishment doesn't suit the crime. And eBay just doesn't get it. They claim that their hands are tied, that they have to follow set rules regarding the law, which I get. And them following the rules should look like them taking down the listing. They're notified that there's a breach of IP, take the listing down. But what they do is they take the listing down and they give you basically a defect on your account. Now, if you get, and they won't even tell you how many, they won't even tell you the procedure of how many checks, how many Veros you get before you get, how did they word it? Basically, your account's restricted, and then you get like another one or another two. They won't divulge any information about how they determine whether they dole out restrictions or suspensions. They just won't. They won't tell us the rules that we have to abide by. They won't give us a list of companies that we're not allowed to sell. It's actually to the point now where I'm literally afraid to list certain items. Like, I don't know. Like, I went through my store. Well, I started to go through my store. I have 4,000 items. And I got about 40% way through before I started making this video. And just taking down stuff that, I don't know, may get me a Vero. It's not like I sell like a bunch of weird, I mean, I am an anything seller, but like, had I got a Vero for something like a water filter right now, and then I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna go through my store, I can almost say with the 100% certainty I wouldn't have taken down a card game thinking that was going to get me a Vero. And I try to convey to eBay, I'm like, look, I hear you when you say that you have to abide by a certain set of laws. But why do you punish us sellers for honest mistakes? Legit honest mistakes. My first Vero, I used the word bomber. How was I supposed to know that? Second one, it's a game that it's like a cheap game that you never would have thought the company would have IP property on. Now, had I been told that I can't use the word bomber or sell that game, and then I did it again, that's when they should issue the Vero. When you're knowingly doing something wrong. I think I've gotten more Veros between my and my wife's eBay store in the last year than I think I've ever gotten my previous 11 years selling. And I wonder if, because reselling has gotten pretty popular and there's been an explosion of people doing it, I wonder if that's the reason, because it does seem that like their companies are cracking down more and more. And it's a shame. Like, it's a shame that small time resellers like me or like you, we're the ones who all the blame falls on us. eBay has no accountability. They hide behind their Vero program, and they're like, they just regurgitate the same thing. Like, they kept telling me, like, you can contact the company, and I'm like, the breach of IP, intellectual property, we know that I did it, but I didn't know that I was doing it. But they don't. Yeah. So and this is a tricky Vero, because Set Enterprise is the name of the company, and here's the interesting thing, is the first representative that I spoke with, because I wanted absolute clarity. I go, what's the name of the company that I'm not allowed to sell their products to? And she goes, I can't tell you that. She's like, you received an email, but I can't tell you. And I'm like, well, if I received the email, then you can tell me, because you're only telling me something. I just want to hear it from you. I just want to hear what company I'm not, because there was another name on the email. Let me just pull it up. And that was the confusing part, is because it says Set Enterprise, but it says your listing was reported by Cannei, Kanai LLC. So I wanted to know, so I guess Set Enterprises is the title holder of the 5 Crowns products. Don't sell anything by Set Enterprise. That, yeah, I wouldn't. And I didn't even have that. I didn't even have that in my title. And normally I put the name of a company on there, so it must have not been easy to see, or I just somehow didn't put that on. So eBay's really making it harder and harder to actually do and conduct business with the lack of what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, the lack of providing us adequate information to be able to, and even if there was a list, I still go back to this. Even if there was a list, like, are we expected to check that list every single time we list something new? That seems like a bit much. Now, here's something that you might not have known. And I did get this. I spoke to a Vero agent, like the first time I got a Vero last month. Now, so if you get one Vero and you don't have any violations for 6 months, that Vero drops off. But if you get, so like for instance, in my case, I got a Vero last month and then I got a Vero this month. So 6 months kind of resets now. So I have to go 6 months from now to not getting a Vero for them both to drop off. There is some confusion within eBay about that. The first time I was told it was a year, but then the second time I spoke with somebody who I think had the right information. Now, if you get a counterfeit item defect on your account, it takes a year for that to remove, and it doesn't reset. It's just a year from the first one you get, it goes off. So if you get one, say to this month, and then you get another one, say in August, the first one is going to be removed next May, and then the second one would be removed next August, if that makes sense. That's what I was told, and normally I don't trust things until I've actually heard and gotten it confirmed a couple different times. But then again, things can change too, right? Like, even though that's how the policy is now, I don't know if that's going to stay that way. But yeah, I continue to believe that this is why resellers need to communicate with other resellers when they get Veros, so we can at least start to have more information than the information that eBay is providing us. So good luck out there, guys. I know I'm going to be going through my store again today and taking down a bunch of listings, like I said, because I'm just fearful of getting another Vero, because that would be my third. And then at that point, I don't know if I would get a restriction on my account or what. So, all right, take care.